Hey, what's going on guys? Brian here, Brian's Lawn Maintenance. Hope you guys are doing well. Today we're going to be showing you guys a little update in how to install the Equipment Defender trailer racks. We have the new 4-position trailer rack here that we're going to be installing on our brand new enclosed trailer. Super excited about going through that process with you guys today. Let me show you guys the unboxing of this thing really quick so you guys know what you got inside the box. This right here is how it comes. Now, again, this is our 4-position trimmer rack. They have 1, 2, 3, and 4 spots. Now again, there is a 2-position trimmer rack, a 3-position trimmer rack, and it really just depends on what you want to do for capacity and how many things you want to store with you. They are both enclosed trailer and utility trailer or open trailer compatible. So let me show you guys the instructions here. Sorry for the harsh light, I'm inside the shop. But we have the basic schematic here, which is these large black poles. You're going to have your mounting brackets, and then from there we have the extension rod right here, this long piece, and then that is going to have the engine support mount that's going to go like so. All right, so our idea is to put them on the right side trailer wall. Now there's a lot of debate out there about what side you put your trimmer racks, but traditionally speaking, and for us personally, we've always put them on the right hand side or curb side for a lot of our lawns, because when you come on into the enclosed trailer, you're going to grab your trimmer rack, which would be on this wall, and you take it off. A lot of the units are right-handed, so they kind of shove in on the right-hand side. Okay, now, I know some guys put them on the left-hand side. It's not a deal breaker if you do that by any means. But traditionally, I've always put them over here on the right-hand side. I know everybody that I've always seen with enclosed trailer setups put them on the right-hand side. Utility trailer setups, it's always the right-hand side. And usually leaf blowers on the opposite side, all right? If you guys have not seen the Equipment Defender leaf blower racks, I'll leave a card on an end screen and you guys can see those. This is the enclosed trailer setup for the leaf blower racks. We mounted 2 of our leaf blowers yesterday. Little encore video here with the trailer racks for the trimmer racks. Still gotta get a 3rd leaf blower here. Oh, and by the way, they got gas can racks. This is with the SureCan gas cans. All right, so we got 2 more in the back. 2.2 gallon mix. The bigger one here is a 5 gallon mix. And this way, when the guys come in from, refueling the mowers or the 2-stroke, they can grab it from the back side of the trailer. And then many times, and all too often, we normally just have maybe a leaf blower sitting on the floor with a trimmer, and we just pull it in and out of the RV door because we hop lawn to lawn, especially residential. So we want to make sure we have adequate 2-stroke fuel up here for the guys as well. There's a couple different gas can models for these racks, SureCan gas cans, and then I think no spill gas cans. So make sure you guys get the right one. By the way, if you need trailer racks, Brian's 10 from Equipment Defender. Oh, and side note, we do have a Brian's 10 for SureCan gas cans. Save you guys some money there. All right, well, let's do this really quick. I'm going to try to take you guys with us. We'll do a little install video and just show you our setup. Last setup I did, admittedly, was about 7 years ago on our other enclosed trailer. So it's been a minute since I put these together. A little bit of head scratching, but at the end of the day, it wasn't too big of a deal. About an hour and a half to install these done right. One thing I will say, if you guys are shopping for trailer racks and you're shopping Equipment Defender and you haven't made the purchase just yet and you're comparing brands, just do it. Equipment Defender, I'm a little biased. We're an affiliate, a little ambassador setup here. I get it, but I'll tell you straight up, I've seen what else is out there on the marketplace. I've seen what else other people are putting together. Only Equipment Defender e-coats their trailer racks through and through with the powder coating all the way around. Okay, nobody else does that. Nobody else has the build quality. Nobody has the customer service and stands by their product like Equipment Defender. Okay, I'm a little biased, I understand, but I will tell you straight up, I've heard all the horror stories of all the other brands that are out there, and I'm not saying they're bad, I'm just saying Equipment Defender is the standard. They make great product. And when it comes to keeping your equipment safe, not letting things get stolen, right? We're talking about $650 leaf blowers these days, $300-400 trimmers, $500-600 edgers. Okay, this stuff is no joke. Make sure you guys make a quality investment to keeping your equipment safe. That way, you guys can go out there and get the job done. You don't have to be replacing equipment that gets lost or stolen. That's not cool. We've all been there. Let's try to avoid having any of those mistakes or situations happen in the future. Amen. All right. So that being said, let me go get that trailer rack out of the box. Let's go install this thing together. By the way, some of you guys are wondering how does this mount for a utility trailer, little foam. This is these huge metal brackets. I don't know if you guys can see this, but this is what stands right on your trailer rack either on the 2x2 inch, you know, a utility rail post, or even just on the floor on the wood decking, which isn't a bad idea too. Actually, back in the day, we mounted ours here. They had additional brackets to put ours on. I'm sure, yeah, we got these right here actually these days. Little bracket, which helps secure that on. So there you go. Just a quick little tip there. I'm going to put these aside since we don't plan on using these for the utility trailer, but you never know when you shift things around, so I'm gonna keep this hardware just in case. Alright, so step one, we've got our mounting brackets on. This is for the pull side. This will be the end for the trimmers, blowers, edgers. And just a little context so you guys understand, because this can be confusing the first time you do it. This little silver bracket here, let me see if I can show you guys. This little silver bracket here is what clamps onto the shaft of your trimmer, edger, combi tool, right? And then once this is on the wall, in no particular order, we put it on the back side and it loops in there. Okay, so this will be on the back side and it loops in there. It's got this huge kind of coned cavity. And this is another reason why I like these, because when you're just kind of throwing it in there and you're tired and you're trimming, you're going along the lawn, it finds itself into that hole. The other brands out there, they have one hole the exact size of this bracket, and it has to be exact, and you're out there fiddling around versus it just being glided in. All right, so pretty straightforward. And again, you want to put this on the back side. So you're going to come around when you have your trimmer, and you're going to go like this. You're going to hook. You go around, it finds itself, hook, and then you're going to put it into the right hand side, which is the second bracket that's going to lock it in. Let's keep going. I know it sounds this is concept, but I'll show you guys in practice. All right, so this right here is the main mechanism. This is the main control arm, and let me just show you guys how this works. So in here you can have the combination lock, or you can have the key to light. Okay, so I'm not sure which one they sent us or which one we even ordered, to be honest with you. It's been a couple months. So we're going to pull it up. We have the keyed system. So there you go. And inside you've got the chamber, the camber that turns, okay? Let's see if you guys can see that. I know it's probably not the best on the camera, but really simply, this right here allows this to turn. And inside here, there is a, again, a camber or an arm in there that locks on to this bracket. All right, so this bracket. So this square is going to go around your trimmer shaft. This piece is what goes inside the actual compartment here. Okay, I'm not gonna put it in there because I don't want to kid it out or anything like that in a second, but what this does is it locks on, so it loops through. There's two teeth that grab around and lock into this, and that way you can't take the trimmer or edger off the rack. Pretty straightforward in concept. So at the end of the day, you'll have all your trimmers back into the rack, right? Then you close it, lock that back up, turn your key, and that's how nothing gets taken off the rack. Pretty ingenious idea, pretty cool design. All right, well, let's install those two brackets here. Again, we've got our same, I don't know, maybe 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch bolt, whatever this is here, 3/8. And we've got our aluminum mounting bracket. All right, well, you guys can see this is the second rack holder. This is what's going to mount to the wall, right? So our mounting hardware next, if I remember correctly, we've got these big beefy brackets, black brackets. Got some grease on me somewhere. And this is going to mount like so, and that's how we're going to be able to mount it to the wall. One thing I want to do is just take a quick second and show you guys how we're going to do this. So we're gonna try to line this up the best we can on this wall. What I would like to do is I want to drill into these metal studs. I think ours are 12 or 16 on center with our enclosed trailer. The number one thing I can tell you is if you can mount to that metal bracket or that metal stud, It'll just give you more rigidity than just this plywood backed wall that a lot of us have in our enclosed trailer. Number two that I wanted to talk about was spacing. What I'm gonna do is get the 2 brackets, and I remember this from the first time we installed these, was just trying to get the width or the spacing correctly on how wide we made the trailer rack. So for example, let's say your trimmers and edgers are about 5 feet long. You need to make sure that the bracket spacing for those 2 main poles are 4 feet long, and then how does that line up to your stud? So it's a little bit of a math game. So I'm gonna go grab a trimmer, and we'll see, like, if we pseudo put on those aluminum blocks, where they link into the metal bracket holders, and then how those holders attach to the studs. Does that make sense? This is a measure 3 times cut once situation and proposition here, all right? So let me try to take you guys with us and see if we can get it right together on the first time. All right, so I'll show you guys a quick example, right? Just try to space this out real time. So this bracket would be mounted to that stud in some way, shape, or form, correct? This one, similarly, would be mounted to this stud. And so we made the mistake the first time installing these, thinking we had the spacing lined up because we wanted to mount it to the, again, the aluminum shell of the trailer, the cross members, the beams. But let me show you where the trimmer actually lines up, right? You guys can see we're about 6 inches short of where this trimmer would actually be spaced out. Because again, we'll have that mounting bracket that would clamp onto here and would go into the trailer rack. Makes sense over here. But the first time I installed the secondary rack, because I was so affixed to mounting it on the wall correctly, that we did not have any additional space to obviously put the bracket, the hook, that would link into the connector, right? Which would be on the back side here. So number one, get your hand tools out and figure out how long they are. And that way, when you guys put your brackets on the wall, you know where to space them. So what we're gonna do is, because there's quite a bit of rigidity with that bracket, right over here, there's 4, 5, 6 bolts that we're gonna be able to put in through here. You guys can see those holes. So what we're gonna do is mount this to the wall like so, for this pole, and for this one we're just going to mount straight to that metal hardware, to the metal ribbing of the frame. All right, so that way we got our bracket lined up there, and we got the little attachment there. Make sense? I'll show you guys this really quick on the instructions. You guys can see this little diagram here, right? It says steel framing right here, this dotted line. It says screw the brackets for the locking side onto the wall. Right, because this last portion is pretty heavy, and that's also going to be holding all your engine blocks for your trimmers and edgers. The additional mount, that's just for the end, you know, not so much. But make sure that the metal, if you have to line up with one of them, right, make sure you put it on that metal steel ribbing. So I didn't even know that was in the instructions. This might have been updated since I installed mine 7 years ago. Go figure. But make sure you listen to the instructions. Read the instructions first. Amen? Let's keep this a little loose for now. We'll tighten it back up once we have it mounted to the wall and we have it exactly where we want it to be. All right, well, here is bracket number 1. There you go. And then over here, bracket number 2. There you go. And again, this is actually pretty heavy, so I'm trying to lift that one hand, kind of challenging. So we're gonna put that mounted with these screw holes, right? These two, at least the center ones, on and through the actual steel. So if you had an extra set of hands, it might be a good idea to have somebody hold on to this, right, while you're zipping it in there, because it is going to be a little heavy. One other quick thing that I've been doing, and I even showed this on the blower rack video, was to take that stud all the way down, just drop the tape, right, there you go. And all I did was do some dotted lines. So that way you know where that stud is. And also be careful, because don't just go by the screws that they do with the trailer. Nobody's gonna guarantee that those are on center, right? So what I did is I took the outside stud on the blower rack video and on the blower rack install and just made a kind of like this little lane. If I'm in here, we should be good to go. But see where this screw is? That screw, I don't even know if it's into the stud, right? So just be cognizant of that as you guys put these brackets up. All right, so I wanted to show you guys what I did is I took this off, that first bracket, just because I don't have two guys to hold this, one guy to hold it, one guy to install. So I just took the bracket off and then I just gotta add this one bolt back up. Now obviously let's put this back on, let that drape, and then we'll be able to figure out where our second mount is down below. But for me it was just easier to take this off for 2 seconds, mount that, and then, like I said, put that back on. Alright guys, so same concept. What I'm going to do here is remove this bolt one more time. What I did is I put my bracket on here, lined it up to my black line, made my pilot hole. I'm going to remove this bracket from underneath since I just don't have an angled way to get in there. Right, take this off for 30 seconds. And I should be able to push this bracket over just a little bit, just to get some workaround room from this rack. Alright, so here we go. A little bit of back and forth, a little bit of finagling, and we've got it all good to go. Admittedly, it takes about 10 minutes maybe per side to do this, so I don't think it's gonna just take you 2 minutes. Probably total time to do the rack install, about an hour. I've been about 45 minutes now. So first thing I did these two, then we took the bottom bracket off like you guys saw. Got my 2 at the bottom here. Got my extra screws and bolts. Then I tightened this up. Tighten this up, reattach this of course, and tighten both up. There you go. All right, let's go to bracket number 2. All right guys, well one thing I want to show you here for just a quick second, and this is just a little planning ahead. Make sure you guys have one of these little 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pointed star, I don't know the technical term, hex bits, because you're going to be using, if I remember anything from the last install, was all of the little screws that you have to take out, right? So you have to mount one of these to the trimmer rack, one to the trimmer shaft, another block at the end of the trimmer shaft. Then this is for the squared off engine mounts. So a piece of rod will go through here and then another rod through here. And it's just a lot of screws. So make sure you have a second drill ready to go. I was looking through all of my bits. I'm like, oh no, I don't have one. Finally found it in one of my other Milwaukee kits. It is not the standard like little wood screw hex. Okay, it is a wider hex. So just a little heads up, make sure you have an adapter kit. This will save your life. If not, this is going to be your tool of choice and your hands will hate you the next 3 days, I promise you that. All right, now as we get ready to install the second bracket, again, the biggest thing is to take account about where your trimmer shaft is going to be. So right here you can see this bracket is on the wall. This is going to couple right here, plus or minus. So we want to make sure that we have this trailer rack pretty much around there, right? Because then that way that trimmer shaft can go into that loop. All right, so up next we've got that aluminum bracket, right? So here we go. We're gonna put it on the trimmer first. Now again, locking mechanism side, right here. We want that to be on the inside. All right, so there you go. Pretty straightforward. All right, so let me show you guys really quick how this bracket looks when it's installed. Okay, so 2 quick tips. Number 1, make sure you measure this bracket here, leave yourself some space for the grip of your actual trimmer. Okay, this one's a little rotated. I could probably work on it a little bit just to make sure the bracket's squared off with the head, right? So I gotta fix that a little bit. And then number 2, see how we're lined up? Doing pretty good on that distance. I don't have any room over here, so we would have to put this over here. So I'm probably about 2 inches, I should have been to the right because I'd love to have the trimmer hook in. Now if the trimmer comes up, I'm just fine with that. as long as it works for the guys and we're good to go. But this is the whole measure twice, cut once. Also, it looks like I'm a little high on that bracket. It doesn't look parallel to that silver band. Not super worried about it, but just again, some things to pay attention to. All right, so I'll show you guys this mounting bracket. Again, super simple stuff, especially if you have a drill, so you can just adjust these as necessary. Keep it loose, put it in there. You don't need it to be super snug or super tight, but the idea is just to be able to find that cone and have it mounted in there. Now again, I would have loved to have had it over here, learn from my mistakes, maybe make this thing a little bit more shallow. Again, it doesn't have to be as spaced out as possible, just pretty good will do the job. Now it is a little bit more even, admittedly, once we put that bracket on there. Again, I'll take that all day long. I thought it was a little rough, to be honest with you, at first, but this is parallels. You know, I care to have it to be rule of thumb, right? I think that's how they say. So we're a little short. All right, so here's the proof of the pudding, right? Take it off the rack. Come on in. There you go. And again, just to show you guys how it locks, pull that down, turn the cam bar, close it up. All right, so you guys can see we've got the engine mount holders on now. Sorry for the background noise, the guys just got in, starting to get busy. But one quick tip here, you got that Allen wrench. If you can keep this 4-screw aluminum block this way, that way you're not Allen wrenching from behind. Quick tip there. Again, we used our handy dandy drill, which I just had a second ago. This guy right here, lifesaver, game changer. Just make sure you guys have that hex bit before you start the whole process. Or take an Allen wrench, use an angle grinder, and chop off a piece of your Allen wrench. That would be helpful too. The engine spacing can get tight sometimes with these engine blocks, so it does take a little bit of finagling. Some of them are sitting on top of each other just a little bit, so expect just a little bit of maybe rub or wear and tear. But again, the idea is just to keep a little bit of a millimeter or two gap. It's just to take the bounce out. Like that one might be a little tight. I'm gonna have to bring that down. It's just to take the bounce out of these blocks going down the road, because I have seen them snap from here or here on a trimmer or edger. So there you go, man. Pretty straightforward. Oh, by the way, I did move this over that 6 inches. You can see my old holes. I did move it over 6 inches to this other bracket. The issue I ran into was I could hook it like this on the trimmers, right? But the problem is when I came to the edger, it had this huge disc and we weren't able to get that bracket centered. So again, learn from my mistakes. Make sure you guys have it on this side hooking in, and it's so much easier to mount them that way. So it's so much easier to mount them that way, and makes it easier on your guys too. All right guys, well that's what I got for you on the 4-position trimmer rack here from Equipment Defender. Hopefully this little install video, little just trailer update video helps you guys out. I'll leave links in the description down below if you guys want to pick some up for yourself. If you guys have not watched the blower rack video, I'll make sure to plug that. Leave a little card and end screen, and you guys can see how we install that. I got about an hour and a half maybe for the blower racks, maybe about an hour and a half, 2 hours here for the trimmer racks, nothing too crazy. Do it once, you're pretty much set for life. Again, never happier with the product, and hey, makes it easier for our equipment, and not only that, lock things up every night so nothing's getting stolen, even if it's inside an enclosed trailer. A little redundancy goes a long way. All right, over and out guys, have a beautiful day. We'll catch up with you here on the next one.